Hello everybody, this is Old Soldier. Hey, the name of the channel is Old Soldier, and today we're going to talk about some old gear. I had a friend ask me for some content on other gear I use while in the military. Today I'm going to review the assault vest or tactical vest that I wore during my time. Generally what I wore when I was assigned in Special Forces. The new current trend for tactical gear, tactical web gear, is plate carriers. Hey, the ability to save lives and the ability for ballistic plates to stop high-velocity projectiles from entering your body is a great concept that, frankly, I'm in favor of. When I was in the military, about the time I was exiting, probably the last 3, 4, 5 years, Ranger body armor was coming into use and evolving into the plate carriers that are used today. I've used plate carriers in the past, not in the military, but post-military. I've used several different types. The Cry Precision, really like. There's a lot of great ones out there. But even with plate carriers, there are still uses for web gear or assault vests or tactical vests. You may want a means of carrying extra magazines, water, or other gear in an emergency situation. You may be in an environment where body armor is not needed. Maybe you're in the military and you're in a situation where weight or even perhaps stealth is a factor, and you're not going to use plates. Maybe you're a civilian and you want to carry extra equipment on your person, but you can't afford ballistic plates, or you don't want to spend the money if Uncle Sugar is not buying them for you. Whatever the reason, vests and web gear still have their uses. I bought this particular vest. It was a prototype from an individual. I bought it mid-late 80s in the Fort Bragg, Fayetteville area. I believe the individual that sold it to me was an Army officer, and I believe what he said was it did not work very well trying to sell gear to the military while being in the military. As you can tell, this vest is well worn, and I used and carried it extensively in the United States and overseas on many, many occasions. Let's break it down and go over. First things first, in my day, I doubt it's changed very much. In a conventional big army, they were not going to let you use stuff like this. So I did not wear it extensively or use it till I was in Special Forces. One of the problems that I had with military web gear, which is basically canvas web belt, suspenders, and pouches, is that there was just not enough terrain on it to put the equipment that you needed. So the vest, because there's more room on it, they can carry stuff. But you have to be careful you don't overload yourself. But one of the things I really liked about this, has nice padded shoulder pads, and that slight pad, it was nice. It was made carrying it easier. As you can see here, I've mentioned this in I think 2 of my other videos, is the old school strobe light that brought back to life by the strobe light adapter. Instead of using the funky battery, it now uses 2 CR123 lithiums, and still works. But this is the 3rd episode it's been in. I think we've talked enough about that. But anyway, it was always good to have emergency gear built right into my load-bearing equipment, and you know, that was part of it. Another thing, this is old school once again. Old soldier, old school, old equipment. This is the mag light. Still works great. I have not used some of this gear in a while, but this red lens mag light. In its day, it was state-of-the-art. There's smaller, better stuff out there, but red lens flashlight for use in the field, very handy thing to have, and a little pouch, and of course dummy corded on. Now, they're not in there right now, but as you can see, I have pockets behind the magazine pouches that are sewn in, and these were handy. And what I put in there, it physically was in my other video on my survival kit, but I had a cut down fabric VS17 panel that fit nicely, and I also show it in my episode that I have on my channel about my survival kit. I also had a tied off pen flare gun, and I carried distributed between the pouches about a half dozen pen flares, and had my survival gear built right into my vest. It has 8 magazine pouches, so if you live in a free state where you can still own an AR-15 pattern rifle, these things are great. There are times where you might need an extra magazine or 8. Who knows? But I use them. They kept them very well. This thing, the material in the sewing, you can see it's somewhat frayed, but it is really held up to the test of time. Fast Fasteners. Now, pretty mundane, but at the time, that was a huge improvement. Something you could snap on and snap off very quickly. Moving to the lower part of the vest, you see there's another strap Fast-Tech closure. And then in the front, there's 2 frag holders for fragmentation grenades. My day was a M67 fragmentation grenade. I don't know if that's the current issue or not, but in my day, that's what they used. I've used these gray frags. They work just fine. I also have on it a set of love beads or pace cords for your pace count. That could be another episode entirely. For those in the military, it's a way of measuring distance that you traveled by counting the paces you walked. 2 frag pounds. There is a standard at the bottom, just a standard old GI web belt. And then I did have, this was to close it, I did have an extender. For a while I had a team leader who was very much, for whatever reason, when he came from the conventional army, he was into having web gear buckled, so wouldn't quite buckle comfortably, so I got an extender. I think I got it, I can't remember, some shop, and buckled it right up. Satisfied him, satisfied me. It was plenty loose around my waist and comfortable to carry, so it was fine. On the sides, both sides are saw pouches, so they're designed to hold a 100-round drum of ammunition for the M249 saw. This is in the days before they had the cloth nutsack underneath it. But if you use them to carry saw pouches, work great. But it's also great to have capacity to carry a little bit extra gear. I don't know, maybe a smoke grenade, what have you. There's one on each side. And then in addition to that, on the one on the other side, I also added a, oh, there we go. This is just a standard GI M16 magazine pouch. And then I keep some things in there. I think I still have them. And yeah, here we go. Alright, look at this. This is where I keep the pen flare now. I don't, like I said, don't use this stuff. But this stuff is old. And I think, oh my gosh, I have no idea how old that is. If you can see that, that is military issue bug repellent, insect repellent, and a cami stick. And it's, you can see how long it's been in there. It's been in there for a while. But, you know, that was one of the things I carried. And then I think there's a infrared or IR chem light, and that thing has, there's no way that thing works. But, hey, whatever. Cool. Find out new stuff all the time. So that was nice. If you ever needed a few more magazines, you can put them in there in the real world. Also, overseas, you're deployed, you're in areas where you're carrying a rifle, M16 or an M4, and you have to clear it. So if I had my 8 standard rounds and the magazine, the weapon, you need some place to put the extra magazine. You can put it either in one of these pouches, or put it in the magazine pouch. Moving to the back of the vest, as you can see, I try to keep the upper back. There's other places to attach things on here, but I try to keep it clear, because in those days carrying a rucksack, a great deal of time, it was not great to have a lot of stuff between you and your rucksack. The expansion system, or the way to make it larger or smaller, is with 550 cord. That seemed to work very well, lightweight and durable. Never ever replaced this 550 cord. You can see, you know, it's old and frayed, but still holds in there pretty well. And this has been, you know, this vest made many static line jumps. Used many deployments overseas and inside the United States. But to the back, have a butt pack. Some people didn't like them. Made a little bit bulky. Sometimes you sat on it. But I just found there were times where you wanted a rain jacket or a field jacket liner or a poncho liner or something a little bit extra, or an MRE to carry with you on your person if you had to move away from a rucksack, or maybe you didn't have that rucksack for a day. It was just nice to have stuff. Old soldiers will recognize these. Nothing too modern about them, but they are the old GI plastic canteens. And I also still have the plastic canteen cup. And canteen cup, little bulky and odd shaped, indispensable in the field for making coffee, warming up water, for ramen noodles, and then you can clean the outside if it gets sticky, find yourself the nearest sand pit, and scrub the hell out of the outside as abrasive. For any of the other old soldiers that are watching this, happy watching this, ask yes. Every pouch that is not sewn in, the two canteens, the additional ammo pouch, and the butt pack, is all dummy corded off with 550 cord. So, yeah. That was the back. For those out there that like the pointy stabbies, okay, when I carried this, when I was carrying this every day, I prefer bowie style knife, and I carried my Almar Sar 6, which also has been highlighted in a different episode. Quite frankly, I took it off and I store it in a separate place because the value of it is too good, but I do keep a sheath knife on here. This is a classic. This is a Gerber Mark II. It's a dagger on it, but this is a Gerber Mark II dagger. A lot of people carried them in the 80s. The dagger style is not great for chopping, but obviously, when I was in the Army, should it had ever been used in combat, could make a wicked hand-to-hand weapon. Had some sawtooth that worked so-so on, if you needed a sawtooth for something to cut through something, you needed something serrated. Solid steel construction, held a grade edge. Kind of cool item, kind of have went out of vogue, but neat, and that's what I put back on there now. So, for those of you that do like the twisty stabbies or retro stuff, that's what that is. So, there it is, folks. That is an old soldier talking about his old school assault vest. I'd be interested to hear some of the comments from some of the other old soldiers out there, or some of the new soldiers who are probably laughing in, holding their sides laughing. Some of the people that I've worked with in the past, after I left the military, I was kind of known as the old guy who liked old gear, and I guess this episode is a tribute to that. But anyway, folks, there you go. This is Old Soldier's Assault Vest, and this is Old Soldier out.